Hi, it's Luke from Proactive Reporting, the simple, user-friendly risk and safety management solution for sport, leisure and education. And in this how-to video, we're going to look at managing your dashboard. Now, by now, hopefully you will have mastered the basics of setting up the company account, setting up the groups, the teams that is, and the users, i.e. the coaches and volunteers. And you've got using and maybe even added your own first report. This then is the dashboard where you'll see all those reports. And just to stress, depending on the level of access you have, you'll either see all of the reports across the entire club or company, or it'll be broken down by the group that you're allowed access to based on what team you support, yes, but also coach maybe or volunteer. And that will allow you just to streamline it so you're not looking at a whole lot of information that isn't relevant to you, and also for safeguarding other teams that you're not involved in. So this is actually a group level one because I'm a company admin, and so I can see across all of the teams. But what happens is you essentially have this dashboard which is brilliantly colored, so you can instantly see which ones need actioning and which ones are ongoing in red here, and that's across instance, hazards and pre-session checks. Which ones occurred but are green and need no action, and then if there's any that have occurred in the orange column which might need action. All very useful and very clear, hopefully. And as you scroll down, you then see it broken down into those different sorts of incidents. So the instant log is those injuries, those things that have occurred on the pitch that you want to reported. As we've seen before, you can then download those PDFs. Also, then we've got the hazard log, and this is normally where there's an issue with the training facility, something that we want the club to be aware of, an action, and that you can see a list of there. And ultimately, you can see when these things have changed and gone from red to green, so hopefully they've been actioned by someone at the club and they've gone to green, so there'll still be a record of them having been flagged, but at this point you know that they've been actioned. And then the pre-session check log. Now if you're watching this, it's likely to be because you're on the rugby version, and it will also have the concussion tracker. And in the next video we're going to look at how to submit and report a concussion incident and all of the follow-up that comes out of that. Just a quick look at the dashboard because it has its own separate dashboard. So up here in these colored regions, you will just see the instance, the hazards and the pre-session checks. And then the concussion tracker log has its own version down here where you can see the instant of the individual, the name, the place, the date, the days since it occurred, and then the graduated return to actives and sport, which stage they are at, and therefore they should be back playing. And so once they've got to stage 6, then they're green, they can start playing. If there's still any red crosses, then they shouldn't be back to playing. And this is really, really important to understand how powerful this tool is, because it allows you as a coach and as a club to keep a track of people and what stage they're at. It can be used like from an individual perspective, so you can see where individuals are at, but it also lets you get a little bit of an idea of the club, and if there's perhaps more head injuries occurring in more age groups, you can then have a look at potentially whether there's some coaching that could be added in there to improve tackle height or technique, or if there's some other incident that's occurring that's causing more concussions, potentially overtraining, all of these things. It's really useful to look at as a broad picture, but then more specifically, you can make sure that specific individuals are at the right stage and have passed all the stages of returning to play before they get back into action, which in the long term is going to make the sport and your club safer. So that's a little bit on the dashboard, which you've hopefully had a look around already. And then in the next video, we're going to look specifically at how to submit a report on a concussion, and then the follow-up steps from that, which are going to allow people to support players directly back into